So I'm just gonna kind of take everything out of this box and set it over to the side. Taking all of the, let me scoot this box over just a little bit so you can kind of see what I've got going over here. Taking all the paints out. We're gonna carefully keep the lids off of everything except this one that looks a little bit, like milk water, kind of watery. There's some glitter in it. So this one we're not gonna open this one, but we're gonna open all the rest of them.
You should open your white, your black, your red, your blue, and your green. The one that kind of looks like glue, milky stuff with glitter in it, leave the lid on. And she's just putting those right outside of her box so that she can work in her box, so that if you have any messiness, it stays in the box.
Yes, we are going to use this pizza box, and I've made a few of these paintings just as tests, just to kind of make sure that it was all going to work out for you guys. And my pizza box got pretty messy. So definitely want to try to contain the mess, especially if you're painting on your kitchen table or wherever you might be. You don't want to get paint all over the place. So also in here we've got a couple paintbrushes. We're going to be using the bigger one for some things and the smaller one for some things. And I just realized, be very careful with this smaller one. I had one where the brushes came out, or the bristles came out really easily. I was not expecting that. So just be careful not to tug on the bristles. So we've got also a paper towel here. That's gonna be definitely handy for us. All right, we're gonna keep our canvas right in the pizza box. If anybody has questions as we go along, type them in the comments. Is that what we're calling it? The comments? Yeah.
And do we need our canvas with the colors at the top or the bottom?
The colors are going to be at the top. So all of the canvases got painted a little bit differently. Your colors might not look exactly like these, but we tried to keep a white section at the bottom. So if you have an area on your canvas that's more of a big white area, make that the bottom. And we're doing it up and down. So the short sides here and the long sides here, it's tall. So, well, because I can't take the camera without it going.
At the end, we'll do that.
One of my producers was just asking why I haven't shown my face. And I will tell you why, because our camera goes crazy when I try to do that. That's how wild looking I am, folks. You're not even going to believe it.
You'll have to be in surprise and suspense until the end, and then we will reveal her.
The big reveal. My name is Stacy Haney, though. Some of you might know me. I know some of you know me. I saw some of my friends as we were getting ready here. Mia and Hank Haney are my kids. They are also here, being so good and quiet, and they're going to do a painting with us.
And show them how to peel that.
So the next step, and I actually just peeled this off without showing you here. We're going to peel the back of this. Everyone should have kind of a half circle, like a giant sticker. Peel the back of that sticker off. And put that paper to the side.
Hey, did you do yours yet? Come do yours under the camera so they can see it.
We're gonna do one more so you can kind of see how that got peeled off. Let me show you one more time. So you can kind of see. And sometimes it helps if you just bend the corner a little bit, and then it kind of will help separate, and you can get the backing, the paper off. It's not working so easily right now. There we go. Got it. No, I'm sorry. Losing my camera. There you go, hey? So once you've got that peeled off, we're gonna bring it down to the bottom of our canvas. I'm gonna kind of line it up along the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect at the bottom, but you do want to press it nice and hard to get it stuck down really, really, really good. Because we are going to paint over the top of this, and we would like the edge to stay clean when we peel this off later on. So press that down.
I think you're doing okay.
How we doing, folks? Everybody here? Everybody doing good? All right. Thumbs up all around. All right. So the next step, there are more stickers. Yay. Who doesn't love stickers? We've got some big round stickers and some small round stickers. And the colors on the canvas are part of this round sticker plan. These stickers are going to go on whichever colors you like the most. Just pick an area where you think it looks really cool and put a sticker down. I think this area looks really neat where the orange and the turquoise kind of blend together. So I'm going to put a sticker like half and half on there. And what these stickers are is these are going to be the planets. Our big sticker down here is going to be the Earth at the end. These smaller stickers are going to be the planets up in the sky. So
Want to show them?
we're actually, do you guys want to see what the finished painting is going to look like? Would that be helpful? Or do you want to be in suspense? We show you nothing until the end.
I want it to be a surprise.
Okay.
You want it to be a surprise? Okay, I love surprises. I love surprises. So I didn't even really consider showing you guys, but these teachers here,
Show us.
are nicer than me and suggested
We
that
could,
maybe we ask.
everybody could close their eyes who doesn't want to see it. We can do a fast show real quick. So everybody listen, it's Mrs. Dillman, and on the count of 5, I'm going to show it, and I'll show it like real fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're done showing if you want to open your eyes now.
All right, so hopefully everybody who wanted to get a little sneak peek got to see it. And that is what we are going to be creating here, folks. So back to our planets. And these stickers kind of are shimmery and they look like planets already, but they're going to go in the trash at the end. I'm just going to tell you that right now, because we're going to paint black total over all of this. It's going to be painted black once we get our planets on. And I'm going to put a planet right there. One important thing about these planets also is to press very hard.
You see how she's pressing from the back and the front
Yes.
at the same time to make sure that sticker's really on there tight.
Very important to get around the edges of all the stickers, because we're going to be painting over this, and you don't want paint to sneak underneath your sticker on one side if it's not pressed down all the way. So just go ahead wherever you want your stickers to go, the big ones, the small ones. If you don't want to use all 7 stickers, you don't have to. This is your painting. You make it what you want it to be. I'm pressing these on, but then I'm going to go back over all of them and press them really hard just to be sure. Let's see. I like the look of that, where it's kind of purple and kind of greenish yellow together. Let's see what that planet turns out looking like. So in the end, we're going to pop these off, and whatever color is underneath these stickers is going to be the color of the planet. And I'm going to do one down here that's more purple.
Ooh, I like yours where you overlapped where there was 2 colors.
I tried
That one will be neat.
on one of my practice paintings, and it turned out really, really cool. All right, I'm getting to the end of my stickers. How's everybody else doing? Does everyone have have their stickers placed where they want them and pressed hard, press hard.
Give Miss Beth a thumbs up when
That's
you
from
are
both
ready for
sides.
us to go to the next step.
All right. So, got all my stickers pressed really hard. My thumbs even kind of hurt a little bit from all of that. Don't make your thumbs hurt. You don't have to go that crazy. So, now it's about to get fun. We are going to take the big paintbrush. And most of you have paintbrushes that look like this for the large ones. Some of you have like red and purple paintbrushes. Just a few of the kits have those, but that's the bigger paintbrush in the kit is the one we want to use for this. And we are not really going to use the white, so I'm going to set that one aside. And we're going to use the black, the red, and the blue. Set the green aside too. These are the colors we're going to use to make the galaxy. So when you dip your paintbrush, it's really tempting to just smear as much paint on it as you possibly can. But actually, you only need to put paint just on the tip. That's going to do everything that we need to do. So I'm going to dip in the black, just a little bit in the black, and then we're painting right over the top. Just paint every single bit of this canvas.
She's using different directions. So like she's going up and down and sideways and at a diagonal so she can get all the sides of those stickers.
Yes, the stickers are, they're a little puffy. So you'll notice as you go along more and more of your sky. This is the big giant sky is getting covered, but those stickers do take a little bit of extra attention to make sure that you get all the way around the edges.
Watch when she does this one. She's just going to go up and down and watch how we can still see the sticker around the white around the sticker.
So I'm going to dip a little bit more and brush, brush, brush. Oh, I'm trying really hard.
See that?
I'm trying really hard to get it all, but it's still not working.
See right around those edges that she's still missing? That's what you want to try not to see. She's going to hide it now.
So how are we going to hide that? Just going to go the other way. And you know what? I have a little tiny bit left at the top. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Yep, all gone. Same thing with the earth here. We're going to go right around the edge, dip a little more. And you can also, as you're dipping, if you feel like you got a little too much on your brush, you don't really want gloopy paint. We're trying to make this paint pretty thin on the canvas so it dries quickly. It's a water-based paint and it dries pretty quickly anyways, but there are a couple things that we're going to do through the process where you don't want a really wet paint on the canvas, so we want to give it an opportunity to dry. Actually, a hair dryer is an amazing tool for this paint. It dries super fast if you have a hair dryer at your house. I use one all the time because I'm not patient enough for the paint to dry. But if you're dipping and you get it gloopy, you can kind of brush it along the edge of your cup to get some of that extra paint off. With this stage, it doesn't even matter if it's gloopy because we're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. All the way around the edge of that earth sticker. And I'm going to add a little bit more color in here. I think this black is just too black, and that's not really what the galaxy looks like when you see those cool pictures from NASA. It has a little blue.
Ooh.
You see that? I know there's a little bit of glare on the. Try it.
Flip half the lights off.
And we're just going to keep you can just mix it right on
That's
the
good.
canvas, dip it in your blue paint, dip it in your black paint, dip it in your red paint. What's gonna happen if you mix some red and some blue together? Anybody know? Oh, yep, I heard it. Somebody here in the room said it. You get purple. So there's a lot of purple out there in the galaxy. You can add.
And you can choose whatever you want. If you just
Yep.
want the blue, if you just want the red, if you want to make it purple. And Stacy's kind of kept it more dark down over here, a different lighter color over here. That's good too.
Yep. And we're just gonna keep working until we get all the way to the edges. And speaking of the edges, as we're working, if you want to paint these edges, when you hang your picture on the wall, it will look nice and finished. It's not necessary, you don't have to, but I always like to paint the sides of mine because then when you're walking past it in the room, the painting just continues all the way around the canvas and it looks super professional that way. So I'm adding a little blue in, and I'm just gonna keep that blue color going down the side of my canvas.
She's kind of holding her finger underneath.
It's got those nice wooden bars on the back that help you hold on to it and not get your fingers all dirty until you get to the fourth edge. Then good luck. You're definitely gonna get some paint on your hands with this project.
It'll wipe off easy though.
Yes, it does. And if you get anything on your clothes or if somebody drops a paintbrush on the floor, if you get a wet rag and you clean it right away before the paint dries, this is water-based paint and it will clean if you get to it quickly. So I'm just going to continue around on these edges. And I'm mostly just kind of painting black on these edges because the edges are not super important, but it does look nice. Right? I keep losing my camera angle here, folks. There we go.
Look at their pretty. They're probably looking in. They're probably concentrating on their art.
Yeah, you don't have to watch me the whole time either. These are your paintings. I'm giving you some guidance, but if you, like Mrs. Dillman said, if you decide that you don't want to include any red in your galaxy and you just want it to be more blue, then you go blue. I mean, okay, I'm not saying go blue, you know, I'm not choosing sides, folks. I'm just didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean controversy. Right, yeah, I'm not, go, put the red in, we got the red in. I do like red in mine. I keep trying to get you a good angle here so we can, there, you can see it a little bit better, how my colors are mixing.
Flip the light off if it'll help them out. Try to flip the other light off just for a second, see what happens. No, that's too dark. Flip to the opposite.
All right.
No, it was better the other way. Thank you, sorry.
Sure. All right, so here we have got the galaxy sky. And I'm pretty happy with how mine is looking. If you feel like you want to blend a little bit more, you go right ahead. I also want to remind everyone to try to keep the paint thin on the canvas so it does dry for some of our later processes. If you see any big gloops or globs on your canvas, mix it right in, blend it right in. All right, how are we doing? Does anybody have any questions? How are we doing over here, Producer Beth? Doing good. All right.
Don't worry about it, if they get paint on something.
Stanton says it's easy.
Ooh.
All right, good. That's. I wanted it to be easy enough for everybody who wanted to participate, but
You can be creative.
that's right. You can be creative and make it your own.
Megan loves this.
Good. Yay. I hope you guys are having fun. I'm having fun. I love this too. All right. So this part is after we get this night sky, we're gonna add some stars. So I'm cleaning my brush and I'll show you. This is the cup that I use to clean my brushes. Can you tell that I've used it a time or two? 100. So I'm washing up my brush, and once you get the paint washed out of there, rinsed out, squeeze the excess water. Squeeze any extra water out of it. You want to get your brush as dry as you can.
Do they have a paper towel in their box?
Yes, and yeah, you should have a paper towel. Everybody should have a paper towel. So
She's kind of squishing the brush on the side of the jar to squeeze a lot of the water out.
right, so as I pull my brush up out of the jar, I'm like dragging it along the edge.
And the water drips off the brush into her cup.
Yes, and I'll turn it over and drag it on the other edge too, and even more water will drip in my cup. So then there's not a whole lot of water left on there, but you want to squeeze that water out so it doesn't make your paint watery for the next color you dip it into. So I fold my towel over a couple times. And then just kind of squeeze the paintbrush in there and squeeze that water out. So this next part, we are going to make stars. And we're gonna dip. Bring my white. I'm just gonna bring it right into my box. There we go. I'm gonna dip a little bit of this big brush, just a tiny bit.
Hold it up that way. Can you see the tips of that brush? How she just got just the very edges of it.
Yeah, and even with that, I am going to wipe some of that off right here on the pizza box. Not all of it, but some of it. So there's still some paint on there. Yes, you could also dab like that.
Yes.
Yes, this is the white paint. Someone asked if this was the white. I'm sorry if I didn't mention, but yes, this is the white. And
not the glitter.
Not the glitter. We left the lid on the glitter, the one that kind of looks like glue. We left the lid on that one. Just forget about that guy for right now. We're not even thinking about him. So we've got a little bit of white on our brush. Mrs. Dillman said some kids are thinking about glitter. I'm kind of thinking about the glitter too. It's like dessert at the end, right? You can't help but think about it. So what we're gonna do is hold both of your brushes and very gently, very close to your canvas. You're not gonna touch the canvas, but you're going to tap the silver parts of your brushes together.
She's about this far, about that far off of her canvas.
Mm-hmm. And if you're starting to see some little specks of white on your canvas, that's perfect. That's what we're trying to do. If you have too much paint on your brush, the specks are gonna go flying everywhere. I'm gonna dip a little bit more because I dried my brush off a little bit too much while we were talking about it. Dipping it in the white and then getting a little bit of the excess off.
Ooh.
And then tap, 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 tap.
She's swinging me.
Am I getting you? Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
It'll wash.
Okay, maybe we go go a little slower. I'm sorry, I get excited, folks. I get excited. We're gonna go.
All right, Octavia,
That's
dancing.
art. It's just it gets in your soul. It's exciting. Can't help it. And you know what I did here? I dabbed a little bit right back into that paint because I want to do a little bit more tappy tap tap. And I thought, oh, I still have a pretty good glob of paint right here. So I'm just going to dip my brush right in that glob. And that might be just the right amount. Tap, tap, tap. And you can experiment. And maybe those of you who are outside, I don't know, maybe you can get crazy with your taps. We are trying not to get paint globs that are too big because these are supposed to be all the little tiny stars.
I'm gonna hold that up real quick.
Yep, we're gonna give you a little view here.
But can you see all the little white specks? Some are bigger, some are small. See the kind of color, the lighter on that side, a little bit darker on this side.
All right, I'm gonna put just a little bit more on mine, and I'm gonna dip back here in the white and do that process again. Dip a little bit, dab a little bit, tap a little bit. And it's a gentle process. How's it going here with my folks in the room? Everybody doing all right with it? Oh, they did some different things in here. We've got a little bit of a cloud look.
Here, let me
For
see.
some of
Let
the
me show
sky.
yours. Can I show yours? Yeah. Can you lift it out there and just let me show it on the screen here real quick? We're just gonna kind of show you here some different people's ideas. So see, somebody used a little bit more cloud. Here's one that's a little bit more blue and red.
Ooh. Ah.
This one has lots of stars.
Oh, I love it.
All right. So again, everybody is creative.
Yep.
There is no right or wrong. It's just
Nope.
fun.
Yes. So that's where I ended up with my stars. And I think I could go a little heavier. I think I'm gonna leave it. I like that. I'm gonna go with this. So I am a big fan of meteor showers. Has anyone ever watched a meteor shower? Shooting stars, and they're a couple times a year. There's one right at back to school time, August 12th and 13th. There's a meteor shower, and you can see 100 meteors, 100 shooting stars in one night. With that, every single year, August 12th. It's pretty amazing. But I'm going to turn some of these globs of white paint into shooting stars by using.
Thank you, Allison.
Oh, thank you, Allison. It kind of looks like a mess. It doesn't look like anything too impressive yet, but I can see the potential. It's coming. So I'm going to use my little stick here. Don't stab your siblings. Don't poke your brother with this. Don't poke your sister. I'm going to just put the stick right in the middle of one of my blobs and let's do that one again. I'm going to do it another one over here. And maybe one over
I
there.
was gonna say, do they have to go the same directions, or can
Nope.
they make them in any direction they want?
Any direction you want. Make it as crazy as you want. You like a lot of shooting stars like me? Just keep going. All right. And you know what? I think we might be ready for the next step, which is to remove. How is everyone doing? Does anybody have questions?
Give us a thumbs up if you're okay. We're trying to kind of judge if we need a few more minutes. Are we doing okay? Everybody okay? All right, we're gonna keep moving on then.
All right. Are your hands getting messy? My hands are getting a little messy. Yay! That's what happens with art. It's fun. It's messy. All right. So for this next step, we are going to peel off this sticker at the bottom. And it should be pretty easy to grab from this little bottom edge. You just grab a hold of that. Even if you've got paint on your hands, don't worry about that. Grab a hold and peel that right off. And then this extra little piece here, just stick that to the top of your pizza box. Just stick it right on there. Because it does still have wet paint on it. So you don't want to throw it on the floor. You don't want to throw it on your couch. All right, so what we've got is a beautiful blank earth that we're going to create. Just here. Good. Oh, yep, I think that's good. Okay. So, for our earth, we're going to use what colors? What colors do we think? Maybe some green, maybe some blue. And I'm going to scoot my painting over and put those colors right in my pizza box. You guys can do the same thing if you want. You can leave them off to the side, whatever works for your painting area. And we're going to clean out, again, we're going to clean out that brush, the big brush that we were using with the white paint on it that we were splattering. Hopefully there aren't parents that are too angry with me for that splattering process out there. Sorry if anything went awry at your house. Art is fun. Art is fun.
Okay, we'll get you some if you need some.
And so we're going to squeeze that extra water out of our brush again with our towel. All right. So we're going to work with the green first. We're going to paint some big blobs of green on here. But remember, we don't need to dip too much paint. I'm using the big paintbrush for this one again. Really, if you would like to use the smaller one, if you would prefer to use that, you definitely can. You can make this painting your own, whichever one feels most comfortable to you. I like to use the big one for this part. And I'm going to start over here, and I'm just going to kind of tap, tap, tap. Let me tilt this up here so you can see it a little bit better.
You want me to hold it while you're doing it?
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. So, actually, you know what? While I'm down on this bottom edge, I'm just going to tap the bottom edge too.
See, she's right there on that edge.
The green. What do we think this green is? Is that the ocean? No, hopefully not. The green is all of the continents, all of the land. All right. So I'm going to lay this back down and continue working up this edge. And really, I'm tapping. You can brush. It doesn't matter. I feel like using this big brush and to kind of tap it, it keeps it in the inside of the earth. It keeps it from going too far out into the galaxy. So kind of getting that edge almost up to the top. And then we're gonna bring it down a little bit here. Hello, Canada. Hello, United States.
And you can make however much green land you want and however much water you want.
Yep. Hello, Mexico. Hello, South America. Oh, I'm at the end of I'm at the equator. We're down to the equator. All right. I'm gonna come up here, make a little blob of green. And this seems like a lot of green, but we're gonna go over it with the blue next. So we're going to cover most of this green area back over with blue. But I did leave some areas white. And this is another part where you're wanting to use kind of as little paint as possible so it does start to dry. We don't want to have big globs of paint on there. So you see I've kind of got some globs. I'm just going to use this globby paint that's already on here, this green color, and I'm going to keep blending it. In
Parents-
Greenland. This is
Parents,
Greenland.
if you want to take any pictures of your kids in the process, that's fine too.
We have a hashtag.
Oh, that
Hashtag
is
'em
right.
to us.
Yeah, is it on the box?
Okay,
Yes.
Put it in the comments.
we will put the hashtag in the comments if you would like to add some pictures. Post them on your favorite social media and hashtag us.
So I'm just kind of continuing around the edge. I'm gonna leave that ocean. We're gonna keep that open. Hello, Africa. Hello, Europe and Russia and Kazakhstan.
Stand. All the stands.
There's a lot of stands. A whole rainbow. Oh, sorry, I'm losing my camera.
She was getting too involved in her
I
painting.
am. All right.
That's right, the artist needs to focus.
Tell you what, I'm having fun painting. I forget I have an audience every now and then. Okay, so I am done with my green here, and I have just put my brush immediately when I'm done with the color. I put my brush right in the water. Look how terrible that water looks. Does yours look bad like that? Is it black and awful and disgusting? My husband is going to be so excited to drink out of his coffee mug tomorrow. Just kidding. Maybe. All right, and so I'm just cleaning that brush off, doing that scraping thing on the side so the water falls back in. And then I'm gonna dry this brush off because I want to use this one for the blue ocean as well. And again, if you would rather use your smaller brush, that's totally fine. Make this your own painting. I am going to use a mixture of both, actually. I'm gonna start in the biggest areas with the big brush, and then I'm gonna go into maybe a little bit more detail with the smaller brush. And that's generally a good idea when you're painting. Use the biggest brush possible for the area that you're working on. Can you imagine if I told everyone to pick up this tiny brush and, okay, now we're gonna paint the galaxy, tiny, tiny, tiny brush strokes, that would take forever. So we want a bigger brush when we're doing a bigger area and a smaller brush when we're doing a smaller area. That's just a good idea when you paint today or any day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to fill in some of the blue areas, and I would like to actually wipe a little bit of this paint off of my canvas so the green and the blue don't mix together too much. So I'm gonna tear a corner off of my paper towel. Tear a little corner. Doesn't matter if it's wet, doesn't matter if it's got paint all over it. And fold that up a little bit. And then I'm just gonna wipe some of this paint right off of here. Just in a couple areas, not too much. I want to put a lot of ocean right there, and my green paint's a little bit wet still. So that's the reason I'm doing this, just because my green is still a little bit wet, and I don't want that blue to get mixed together too much with the green. I want you to be able to tell that there's a green area and a blue area. So I'm gonna come back. How we doing? How's everybody doing? Are we ready to move on to ocean?
Give thumbs
Everybody-
up if you're good.
All right. All right, so we've got our big brush again, which has been taken out of the water. And if you still have yours in your water, go ahead and give that a swish pull it out and squeeze the extra water out so it's as dry as it can be. And then we're going to start with a little bit of blue and get in on this ocean. And again, I'm starting kind of down at the bottom. You can start in any area. You can follow along right with me, whatever you would like to do. I'm going to kind of paint most of the bottom. Leave some Africa over here. I'm going to paint up this direction. Give us some ocean up there. And it doesn't matter if it's all the same color blue. It doesn't matter if it mixes with some of your green.
You want to? You can if you want. You can take it everywhere.
You can blob this stuff on any way you want.
Your view of the earth doesn't have to be the same.
That's right. You don't have to make this exactly like mine. Maybe you're looking at the other side. Maybe you're over looking at China. I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at right now. You can paint China if you would like. You can paint any kind of.
You could be at the North Pole, the South Pole.
That's right. Any direction you choose. This is. Oh, we've got some polar ice caps in the room. It kind of looks like I've got a little of that going on here. You know what? I'm going to steal that idea.
It's not stealing. It's just adapting your your craftiness.
That's right.
We're saying we like it. We would like to, use your idea of creativity.
Right. Yes. Not stealing in a malicious way. Stealing in a way that is a compliment to the other artist and that I really like that idea and I'm going to adapt it into my painting as well. Well, I am going to leave that little bit of white up there. And I'll tell you something else. That's not something that I planned to do. So I, made a little change. I made a little decision to do something different in my painting along the way. And yay, fun. That's art. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to get the rest of my blue. I'm pretty well done with my blue, I think. If you want to make your continents a little bit more defined, your land, you can come in with a smaller paintbrush and kind of go around, and depends on if you're a perfectionist, you might want to do this. If you're a free-flowing type of folk, you're not going to need to do this. You're not going to care. It's going to be good enough. So I'm pretty happy with where we're at there. One last thing I'm going to do is lift this canvas up and paint the bottom. And I've got my little brush in my hand, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that and finish out this bottom area, because when the cat is looking up at my painting, it's going to see this bottom edge, and I want the cat to have a nice view of what's going on. So I'm just going to finish that out. So we've got some ocean down there for the kitties and the dogs and the bunnies and the guinea pigs and the baby brothers and sisters and whoever's looking at the bottom of your painting. All right. So, looking pretty good. Everybody happy? Everybody's looking pretty good. You like your situation? Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I just put my small brush into the water, and I realized I had not put my big brush in the water. That paint is going to dry so fast on these bristles, and then you can't wash it out after that. So always remember to clean your brushes quickly when you're done with your color. Can't say that enough. I've ruined so many paintbrushes by setting them down and forgetting about them. And I wish I had a collection of all the paintbrushes I've ruined over time. It would be a fun collection, I think. Super colorful. Yes, it would be its own form of art. All right. So how's everyone doing? Are we ready to move to the next phase? Does anyone need a break? Should we take a break? Does anyone need to go to the bathroom? Does anyone need a drink? And also don't forget to do the Kahoot. If you have not done that, pop on there and have a little look-see. doing some trivia. We got a couple prizes to give away. We're gonna announce the prize winners later. I believe, is that still the plan? Yes, it's not gonna be during the painting, it's gonna be a little bit later. So everyone has a chance to complete the Kahoot. We're gonna wait until 9 o'clock, so everyone's got a chance. So
Your nickname needs to be something that we can recognize your family by.
and we wanna be able to find who the prize winners are.
If we may call it Hankster or something in here.
Yep, that's what we call him at home, the Hankster.
No,
Oh, we do?
no, we don't.
Well, not so much anymore, I guess. We used to call you Hurricane Hank when you were little.
What?
Yeah, it was a well-earned nickname.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay, we'll give a couple minute break here. Run quickly. We'll start back in about 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
While you're, if you need to go run to the restroom or something, we're going to show our pictures real quick of our other artists in the room. So if you want to stick with us.
You know, I was going to mention something, Mrs. Dillman and Miss Stacy. For those of you who don't know, you know, when you walk up at Park Lane and you see those beautiful, our little free library and our little free food pantry, hey, our resident artist tonight, Miss Stacy, is the one who painted both of those. So that just shows you how talented she is.
Oh, thank you. I love to paint. I love to paint. I can't get enough.
Well, I understand if you're that good, I would love to paint too.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. All right, I've got another talented artist in the family here, Mr. Hank Haney's painting.
Ooh,
Yeah, he's got a lot of shooting stars.
love it.
Yeah, that's great. I love his earth.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I have a couple pictures too that somebody's texted me.
Oh, good.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, just show them up there. Can we see this? This is somebody's painting, how they're doing that. Ooh, that looks really good.
Oh, that looks amazing.
That's Chad Seymour.
Cool.
I love it.
He's throwing you out, Chad.
And here is another one, the talented Mia Haney, who's joining us tonight.
Nice.
We've got a lot of shooting stars too. I love that.
No. Can you tell me the pin? You're going to go to this Kahoot dot game pin. The pin number is 086 411 65. If you're watching the recording of this, the Kahoot's going to be done though at 9 o'clock. So you have until 9. You're going to then hit enter. And it's going to say ready, set, Kahoot. And you're going to get to join the game. So you can I'll put in Dillman. And I'm going to say, okay, go. Virtual paint night. Ooh,
What is the password?
It's in the comments, but let me say it live for you. I'm gonna leave that. Okay. 086 411 65. Okay, so are we back now to seeing Miss Stacy's canvas?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Here-
is anyone able to tell me how to do the Kahoot thing, or what do I do?
Go to Kahoot, KAHOOT.IT. It will ask you for a game code. The code is 086 411 65. And it should be able to, you should be able to pretty much walk through everything else on that.
I have it pulled up and I have the code, but I'm not seeing where to put in the code. It's like,
Did you do .it?
nope.
Mom. Hi, Miss Dillman.
Hi.
What?
I need you to go wash your pants and stuff.
What?
Is it showing like a sign-in screen or like make a Kahoot?
Why do you look at Mom?
It should ask you for a code.
Hey Beth, did everybody get the email that had the links in it?
Yes, you should have gotten an email
So if
with
you
a link to the Kahoot.
if you follow that link, you don't even have to put the code in. And again, you could do that when we're done, because you're going to have time when we finish here prior to 9 o'clock. So you could just go back to the email and hit the link.
Hey, what is the
Okay,
So
everybody please mute. Everyone please mute. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue our painting. And what we will do, as everybody is kind of finishing at the end and adding their own special effects onto their sky, we will go over Kahoot again. But right now we're gonna go ahead and finish with the painting. We will give everybody a chance to get on the Kahoot here after we're done painting.
All right. And we're back.
What are we gonna use with the glitter?
Well, she's gonna show you.
Yep, the glitter's going to be at the very end. And the glitter is going to happen after everything else on your painting is dry. So there may be some people who wait until later tonight to do the glitter part, or maybe they do it tomorrow, the extra glitter. I will go over that once we get to that point. And hopefully mine will be ready to glitter. It's going to depend on how much paint is in your sky, because that's really where the glitter goes. And I'll just for those glitter lovers like me who are curious, I'll tell you what's going to happen with this when the time comes. Because if you do it now, and like right now, I still have some stars in the sky that are not quite dry. The big spots, I don't know if you can see that.
They're still wet.
Tell, but yeah, they're wet. And so if I put my brush in here and I started to paint over this, it would smear those everywhere. And, you know, maybe it would look cool. If you want to give it a try, it's your painting. You can totally give it a try. But I am planning on doing my glitter coat at the very end. So this kind of glue-like substance it's basically clear paint. And it is kind of like glue, really. And so you'll paint this on and it'll look kind of like a whitish color going on, but then it dries completely clear. So all that would be left is the glitter at the end. Ta-da! So just for those of you who are curious about that glitter part, we will get there in a little bit. Okay, so at this point, we've got a couple options. I have, for those of you who took a look at the painting when Mrs. Dillman gave a preview of it earlier, there are eyeballs on the earth, and I think those are really cute and fun. If you don't want to put giant eyeballs on your earth and you want to leave it as more of a realistic kind of actual earth and night sky, then you could end your painting part right now. If you're happy with what you've done and you don't want to paint anymore, you can stop at this point. One thing that I would like to do on mine is put a little bit of clouds kind of swirled around before I add my eyes. So I'm going to add some clouds on mine. This is totally up to you. You might want to do it, you might not. I'm going to do kind of the same thing that we did when we did the tap tap for the stars. Yeah, that's stuck down there, which is fine. We can leave it. I was just going to like brush it out of the way, and then I forgot it was a giant sticker. All right, so if you do want to try the clouds, just like the tiniest bit of paint, and even still, I'm going to wipe most of that paint off. Almost all of it. So what this is, there's still some paint on there, but this is called dry brush, where it's dry. It's just a little bit wet, but it's pretty much, as dry as it can be with still having the ability to paint. So I'm just going to kind of dry brush a little bit around to give a cloudy effect. And I'm going to come back in here into my same little dab of paint that I put on the cardboard because it's still wet enough to make my brush a little bit wet, but dryish wet.
And some of our friends here aren't even doing this part.
Nope. I'm just going to do a little bit. Get a little bit more white in there. All right. Oops, one of my paintbrush bristles fell out. All right. So that's it. Just a little bit, just a little something for an extra layer. That's something when you're painting, it really makes it more interesting. It makes for a more interesting painting if you can paint in layers. You paint one color and then maybe you let it dry a little bit, or maybe you don't, and you start again with the next color like we did in the sky. Some of it was drying, some of it was not, and we got these cool, little splash of blue and kind of a purple mix up here, and it's just fun. Just experiment and see what happens. So I'm going to put my white brush, I'm done with my clouds, I'm going to put that directly in the water so it doesn't dry out and get ruined. And I'm going to pick up my small brush. This is where I'm going to paint the eyeballs, the eyes of the world. So I'm going to use my small brush, and it's kind of a motion. I'm going to show you just with the brush without any paint on it first. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to do kind of a half circle, and then come back over here and do a half circle and make it a complete round circle.
You show them on. You could even practice in your box.
Yep, let's practice in the box. We'll do a practice run. So, are we gonna need any more red? Not necessarily.
You can use your lid, the top of your lid. She's using in her box right here, but you could go up to the top and use your lid if you want and practice this.
Yep, the lid's a good place to practice. Then you're not smearing on your canvas if you're down here in your main work zone. I'm gonna dip a little bit there, and I'm just kind of just on the end of the brush, and do a little half circle that way, and a half circle that way.
Like a start it with a C, and then do a backwards C.
Yep. a little C.
It's like Pac-Man.
And another one. And you know what? You might even be able to spin it all the way around. Maybe you can just, oops, let me try it here. Do a little C.
Ooh.
Oh, that one didn't turn out quite as well for me. Maybe you'll have better luck than me.
And it doesn't really matter if your eye is not perfectly round.
Nope, it does not matter. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. Everything's going to end up with its own personality, and it's going to be lovely and wonderful.
Addison, can you please type in what your question is?
My question was, how do I get to it? And my mom figured it out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I'm going to put my eyes kind of down low, not super low, but I'm going to go right here and do my little C. And then my other side. Just kind of a
Look at that.
little round eyeball there. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't go exactly like you want. And you know what you can do? Just make that eyeball a little bit bigger. Just go around again and make the whole circle just a little bit bigger and give it another try. Happy little accident. Doesn't.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
She said something about Bob Ross. Getting some Bob Ross inspiration in here. All right, so I've got one eyeball. I'm gonna dip my black paint again. And if you feel like you got too much of a glob of paint on there, you can wipe a little bit on the side of your cup. Just kind of wipe a little bit of that off. So I'm gonna come down and do another little C. Make it all the way around there. All right. So I've got two eyeballs. And I've got a little bit of something coming out right there. So I'm going to turn that into an eyelash. I'm going to make my earth have eyelashes. So I'm going to dip this again. And you see how this brush is flat. Let me show you against that so you can kind of see. And if you turn it this way, it gets skinny. So we're going to be placing the brush right down. We're going to use this flat edge and put it right. Let's do a practice one as I'm explaining this.
In our lid again, go back to those circles that you practiced.
If you want to do a practice one, so we're going to pretend that this is my eyeball where I'm going to turn it into an eyelash. So I'm going to put my brush down right in the middle, and I'm just going to kind of pull it out to the side and lift it up. And then I'm going to do that again right below it. Put it down in the middle and just sort of pull it out to the side and lift it up.
Ooh.
So it's kind of got a little kitty cat thing going on there with my 3 dots and eyelashes. Okay, so I'm going to do that on my earth. I'm going to do paint. Do a little eyelash.
You can put 2, you can put 3, you can do whatever you want.
Yep, you can do them up on the top of the eyes. You can do whatever you would like. All right, so I'm also going to give mine a little mouth. Just like that. Hello. And I think eyes look so cute and expressive when they have eyebrows. And if you put your eyebrows kind of arched out to the side, like this, it kind of gives it like a happy, curious look. You could put them down in the middle like a V, and then it would look angry. Eyebrows say a lot. So I'm going to go with happy, curious. And then the last step on the eyes, and this is what really makes them come alive. I was just dipping my brush, cleaning that black off because I'm done with that black. So I'm going to get my white, paint, and I'm going to use, this end of the paintbrush because it's perfectly round. It's going to make a little dot. So I'm going to dip the end of my paintbrush right into the white paint. And then I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a second one, a smaller one. A little twinkle in his eye. I think I want to give mine an extra eyelash. I feel like 3 eyelashes would be a good amount. Go with 1 more eyelash.
Ooh, that's cute.
All right. So that's how my little face turned out. And now it's time to reveal the planets. Your background hopefully is pretty dry. Hopefully you're able to pick it up and handle it without it being too messy for you. Is there a question? Oh, okay. So everyone's got a wooden stick, kind of like a gigantic toothpick, a skewer. We used this earlier to make some shooting stars. And this is going to help us poke these little planets off. So where we painted right over those stickers, if you kind of push up, find where that's at on the back, kind of find it with your finger where that planet is on the back and push from the back of the canvas, that will help too. And you want to just pop these off.
Try not to stick your hand in your paint.
Oh, yep, like I just did.
You might want to turn your painting this way, and then you won't hit your wet paint.
Yep, if you've just done your face. Yep, that's a very, very good plan. Thank you, Mrs. Dillman. So I'm just going to go through and pop off all of these little planets.
Ooh, look what she's revealing. Woo! Did you pop your planets off?
Pop your planets.
Pop your planets, and
everyone.
See them.
Pop those planets. Oh, that one turned out cool.
My planets have been messed up.
Oh, I will.
Keep popping your planets off. Then you should have different colors.
I think I hit Mrs. Dillman with that
come
planet.
shining through. Great. Oh, there it is. I caught it.
So there are all of our little planets.
Is there a question back there? Be okay. Okay.
All right. So the last step is the glitter layer. And my eyes are not quite dry. You'll be able to tell if the paint is dry because it kind of it goes from shiny to being like just kind of a dull. Like it's if your paint is still shiny, then that means it is still wet.
See how hers catches the shine right there on that eyeball?
Yeah,
right
on
there.
On the black.
So we're gonna wait. Maybe we could show
through the magic of television. I happen to have a fully dry painting right here.
Woo!
So again, I don't want anyone to do anything to their painting that they're gonna feel upset about afterwards. So if your painting is still wet, it is a very good idea to wait until it's completely dry. Pardon me. Hurricane Hank. So now that my painting is completely dry, I'm going to open this glitter container, and you see you can't really tell there's any glitter in there just looking down from the top. But I'm gonna get one of my paint brushes. I'm gonna use the big one because I'm gonna cover the whole sky. I've got my big paintbrush ready. And this time is a little different. Before we were just trying to kind of dip just the end of the brush. This time I'm gonna just mash it right in there, and I'm gonna stir it up because I want to get as much glitter on the brush as possible. So you can kind of see as you stir it up, the glitter is all getting mixed together.
But you said they don't have to use glitter if they don't want to.
No, if you are happy with where your painting is, you can stop at any time. You can leave it right here. Maybe everybody doesn't love glitter as much as I do. I had originally planned to send home a little container of loose glitter to everyone.
Thank you for not doing that, Miss Stacy.
On second thought, yes, I decided we would go with Plan B, which I think is going to be a lot nicer for many of the homes here that are following the painting tonight. So I've got this good and mixed up, and I'm just going to go over the whole sky. You can go over your earth if you want to. I'm going to just do the sky because this is also, once it dries, it's a little bit shinier. So if you do the sky and you leave the earth will have a more flat feel to it, kind of like it does here. And the sky is going to be a little shiny, not quite this shiny once it dries, but that's kind of fun too if you have different sheens, it's called, in the painting. So I'm just gonna, any which way, it does not matter. I'm gonna just kind of slop this on here.
And it kind of looks like you can see it here, the white, that's gonna disappear. It's gonna dry clear.
Yep. You can see I do have a pretty big blob of it here. So I'm gonna smooth that out. And I'm just gonna get the sides.
Octavia just said, is it okay if you do it tomorrow? That is a really good idea.
Yes.
Because then your whole painting will be completely dry, and then you can add your glitter and you won't mess up any of your cool shooting stars or your planets, or if you go over your earth, you won't mess up your face or your land. That's a great idea.
Right. Very good.
I just wanted to know.
I love it. That's why we wanted to share it.
Yes. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Yes, you can definitely wait. And I was really hoping that we would all be able to add the glitter right now, everyone who wanted to. But it just kind of depends on if your painting is dry.
We just were lucky we had the magic of TV.
Yes, through the magic of TV. My original, the painting that I did here today is almost dry. The only thing I have, well, I guess the whites, where we dabbed the whites, that's still a little bit wet. So I'm still not quite ready to do the glitter coat on this one. I'll have to do that tomorrow at home, just like you guys. I'm gonna put my paintbrush back in the water and all right, and here is my completed painting. I hope everybody takes pictures and sends pictures in so we can see what everyone else did. I would love to see how your paintings turned out and how you did things differently and how you made it your own and made it creative. And
the hashtag is in the comments, and if you give me 1 second, you're going to see my hand, but we're going to try to reveal Miss Stacy.
Oh yes, the big reveal.
Hopefully, we get the big reveal. There's Miss Stacy.
Thank you for joining us tonight. This was so much fun.
Thank
I hope
you.
you guys had fun.
You were awesome, Miss Stacy.
Oh,
Show them your
yes.
full shirt. Tell them who that is.
Bob Ross, does everybody know? I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with him. Bob Ross, I just happen to have this shirt. One of my best friends gave me this shirt a few years ago. And when we decided that we were going to do a painting night, and it was going to be a galaxy space theme, I thought, I've got the perfect shirt. Bob Ross does these painting videos. He's a little more smooth than me, I would say, maybe. But yeah, he teaches people to paint on TV, and it's on Netflix. It's on PBS. If you've never checked out Bob Ross, I would highly recommend him. He's very fun and soothing.
All right.
So, yep.
Mrs. Dillman is going to try. There is a suggestion they should sign or initial their painting. Might be a good idea.
Yes, and that's another thing that would be wonderful to do tomorrow. Once your painting is completely dry, and I like to use a Sharpie, just a black magic marker. You can use paint and paint your name. I am kind of sloppy about doing that, so I just use a marker, and it makes it nice and easy. But the way I want to show you too, actually, I'm going to grab this one that's dry here. The way these canvases are made, it's got these wooden bars, so you can just hang it on a nail right on the wall. So once it's dry, it's ready to go. Hang it up in your room, and we do have one little extra surprise detail with these. I'm not sure if I can get it. Can you turn lights off? And
Watch this.
Ooh, look, so I am shining a black light on this to kind of charge it up. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see.
We can shut this. That's it.
If we have good enough.
That you can turn it. Yeah, that will look good. That should be good. Hold that up a little bit. Now try to shine that black light on it for a second. Charge it up a little. You kind of see those, you guys?
Planets actually glow in the dark a little bit. You don't have exactly a completely dark room to be able to show that. Production crew, could I get the lights, please? Ooh, but yes, your planets should glow in the dark also.
The other one, please. Richard. There you go.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so thank you.
We want a leaderboard. They wanted to see.
Okay, I'm going to try to get the leaderboard. Why don't you show a few more here? Walk around with this and show a few more of our artistes. Or can you bring those over and we'll show them on the screen real quick? If you get it up there, then I'll switch to that. We're trying to get to the leaderboard reports, maybe?
You just unmuted.
Nice. Nice. Excellent. That's a good planet action there.
Oh. Okay, show two more pictures and then we're going to switch to our leaderboard.
All right. Yes, nice.
Okay.
Shooting star comet going on the
Okay, we're going to stop presenting the painting. We are going to go to present the Kahoot board here if we can.
You have until 9 to do it if you haven't done it yet.
You have until 9 o'clock as of right now. DeBaby, Maggie Moo, Jake Boyd, Rudnicki, followed by Thomas and Phillip, followed by Liam Bloom, followed by the Vito, Kelsey L's crew is in 8th place. Avery H. Gray is in 9th. And the Taverniers are in 10th, bringing up the top 10.
So tell the baby to Maggie Moo to email us or to comment.
The baby and Maggie Moo, we need to make sure that you put in comments what your name of the family really is, so we know if you win a prize, how to really get it to you. Okay. We're gonna go through also. If you need, is there anyone who still needs help on getting on the Kahoot? The full link is in the comments. If you do not, if you're having any trouble, please let us know in the comments. We will try to reach out to you.
If anyone would like to hold up their, could they hold them up while we can see everybody and maybe we can see what a few of these look like?
Sure. Why don't we?
And I'm going to apologize now for anyone who's watching later. I'm doing my best, but my phone keeps being full and I keep having to stop and delete. We are doing Screencastify, but I didn't start that till about halfway through, but I'll piece it together to make the best video we can.
Oh my gosh, look at all
Woo!
these paintings.
These look
Octavia,
amazing.
the Boyds, Addison Craft.
Oh, wow, guys.
Now there are 44 people. If I don't see you, oh my gosh, I'm scrolling through. You guys are awesome. I'm trying to see if I can see more.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to see what everybody has done. They look amazing.
Please remember to take a picture, go on social media and hashtag us. The hashtag is also in the comments. It is hashtag TEC as in Tecumseh Education. Tecumseh, TEC, sorry. PTO, Paint Night. So that is hashtag TEC PTO, Paint Night. Look at that. Heidi Garners, Sophia Scheinfeld. If I say a name wrong, I'm sorry. Elaine Demirs, Ariana, Elena, Allison, Amy, Anthony, nice one. Ariana, Aubrey, another Aubrey, Ava, Becky, Carter, Clara, Gatlin, Heidi, Jaden. Ooh, you guys, you did
These
awesome.
are awesome. Very good. Yes.
James, the Vitos, Casey, Cameron, Kaylee, Kelsey, Boyd, Matthew, Megan, Octavia, Piper, Renee, Ricky. You guys all did great. Rylan, the Sarah Rudnickies are on there. Celine, Sophia, Sylvia, the Diamond Kids, Thomas, and Zoe. You guys, give yourself a big old round of applause.
Oh, yes. And the Crocsdales. Yes, the Crocsdales are on there too.
Pat on the back.
Wonderful.
Okay, we're going to go back to that Kahoot. Oh, Octavia has her hair dryer out. She's working on the hair dryer.
She's going to be able to do glitter tonight.
Yeah. We're going to go to a window here, and we're going to try to share our Kahoot board. Let me know. Can you see that Kahoot board? If the baby is really on here participating, please let us know who you are in the comments. Maggie Moo coming in second. Jake Boyd third. Rudnicki close behind in fourth. Thomas and Phillip in fifth. Liam Bloom in sixth. Vito seventh. Kelsey L's crew is in eighth. We have Avery H. Gray and the Taverniers. Looking good. Does anybody have any questions? Can they still participate in Kahoot even when our meeting's done? They have up till 9? Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much. Somebody just said we love doing it. I hope everybody had a great night. Madeline Boyd, we see somebody a hand up. Do you have a question? Go ahead and unmute if you have a question. We have thank you so very much, Stacy.
Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. This was really, really fun.
Did you, Miss Beth, the baby came in and said who they were. All right. Okay.
Ivan would like to know what it takes to win a prize.
What they are doing is doing the Kahoot. They're doing the Kahoot. I think there's going to be some prizes. Probably the top 2 in the prizes. Nina, hello. Hi, look how pretty you are. Look up there. Your hair's getting long and she's getting taller.
Getting big.
Can everybody wave really pretty, nicely to Miss Stacy?
Wave.
And Mrs. Dillman will say thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So wonderful. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Signing off. Thank you, Anthony.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay. So if I go to, what's it called? The video app. InShot. Let me do it. I'm working on it.